Hello everybody, this is Lara from Pure Elliott Wave with an update for XRP for you. I'm not going to do a full Elliott Wave analysis on all time frames. I did cover the monthly chart in my last XRP video, so if you want to see an Elliott Wave analysis of the entire price history of XRP, go back to the last post for that on this channel. I'm going to look at the weekly time frame, and you have to put this in context with the monthly, and the context is it's a third wave at cycle degree. So within that, I expect XRP is within primary 3, within cycle 3. So this is a very, very bullish wave count. Primary 3 may only subdivide as an impulse. That'll be labelled intermediate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm using a Fibonacci ratio 6.854 to calculate a target for intermediate 3. That gives it a target of 4.84. I'm using the Fibonacci number sequence to estimate when it may end. If intermediate 3 lasts a Fibonacci 233 days, it may end February 23rd this year. Give or take 2 or 3 days, maybe even 4, either side of that date. So mark that date in your calendar and look for 4 days before and 4 days after, and over that 8-day period, look to see if the structure of intermediate 3 could be complete. Are there extreme overbought conditions? Is there any bearish divergence? And if those things all line up, it could end then. Within intermediate wave 3, it may only subdivide as an impulse. I have minor 1 and 2 complete. Now looking for the end of minor 3. When it arrives, minor 4 may not move into wave 1 price territory below 0.6585, but I wouldn't expect it to get anywhere near that point. It might, if it's very deep, end within the price territory of the fourth wave of 1 lesser degree. So somewhere below 2.905 and above 1.89, but I wouldn't actually expect it to get that deep either. Minor wave 3, an incomplete impulse, and then we'll have a small, shallow pullback or correction for minor 4. I would not expect it to be deep or time consuming. And then minor wave 5. Minor 5 to end intermediate 3 is most likely to offer the greatest profit potential for intermediate 3. So hanging on throughout a third wave, riding out a fourth wave when it's expected to be relatively brief and shallow, so that you remain well positioned for a fifth wave for a cryptocurrency is a good approach for this type of market with an extreme volatility. Intermediate 4, I would expect to be possibly meeting the technical definition of a bear market. It may affect a 20% or more reduction in market value. It may not move into wave 1 price territory below 0.9301, but again, I wouldn't expect it to get anywhere near that point. There's usually a big gap between the fourth wave and the first wave price territory for cryptocurrencies. Here's a really good example. Technically, minute wave 4 could not move into wave 1 price territory, but it didn't get anywhere near that point. There's this huge gap between the fourth wave price territory and first wave price territory. I expect we'll see the same for minor 4, intermediate 4, and eventually when it arrives, primary 4. When intermediate 4 is complete, I would then expect vertical upward movement at the end of primary wave 3 to last 2 to 5 weeks, possibly, not for the entirety of intermediate 5. It may start out a little bit slowly, but I expect it will end with a huge blow off top. If my targets are wrong, they may not be high enough. Let's take a look at the short-term picture at the daily time frame. The high of minute 3 is this point here. It lasted 39 days, a few longer than a Fibonacci 34. Minor wave 4 complete in 36 days, so just longer, 2 longer than a Fibonacci 34. So XRP's waves are exhibiting, some of them exhibiting Fibonacci durations. Minute wave 1 lasted just 2 days, but minute wave 2 lasted 79 days, no Fibonacci number exhibited there. So they don't always exhibit a Fibonacci number in terms of duration. So a word of caution, these dates that I'm estimating are not certain. Intermediate 3 may not exhibit a Fibonacci duration, and if it doesn't, there's absolutely no way for me to estimate when it may end. So this is based on probability. It's not certain, but it's reasonably likely it could end about this date. So around that date, I'll be looking to see if the structure is complete. Minute wave 4 subdivides really well as a regular contracting triangle. This is the most common type of triangle. I think we can move the invalidation point up now to the start of minute wave 5 at 2.2. No second wave correction within minute wave 5 may move beyond the start of its first wave below 2.20. Target the same for intermediate 3, target the same for primary 3. Draw this channel from the end of minute wave 1, which is the high on August 7th, to the end of minute wave 3, which is the high on December 3rd. Place a parallel copy at the end of minute wave 2, which is the low for October 25th last year. Minute wave 5 may find resistance about the upper edge of the channel, but if minor 3 ends with a blow off top, it may overshoot the upper edge of the channel, and if that happens, then these targets are probably not going to be high enough. So how minor wave 3 ends is going to be really indicative for the future prices of XRP. On the daily technicals, there was resistance about 2.7. We had support about 1.9 for a consolidation, absolutely normal to be expected during a bullish run. That price has consolidations and pullbacks. Price doesn't always move in a straight line. When it does, and it can, it won't be forever. It will, eventually the straight line movement will end and you'll have a consolidation or pullback. The moving average situation is now full ball bullish. The short-term Fibonacci 13-day moving average, the yellow one, has a positive slope. It's above the purple 50-day moving average, which also has a positive slope, which is above the green 200-day moving average. And there was a golden cross all the way back here on 19th of August 2024. Prices above all three. This is a full bore bullish look from the moving averages, supporting a bullish Elliott Wave count. There was a consolidation here, and on the 15th of January, price is broken to a new high above this consolidation, breaking above previous resistance at 2.7. This area may now offer support. The upward breakout had some push from volume, so we can have confidence that yes, there has been an upward breakout and the next bullish run is very likely to be underway for XRP. In my last update for XRP, I said to watch this consolidation zone for on-balance volume and to wait for a breakout. We got the breakout on the 10th of January. That was an indication that price was going to break out, and it absolutely did, following on the 15th of January. So you got 5 days advance warning of that breakout. This is the best way to use on-balance volume. When price consolidates, on-balance volume will usually form a range as well. Draw your resistance and support, and on-balance volume will quite often break out prior to price. After a breakout from on-balance volume, look for a breakout from price from the consolidation in the same direction that on-balance volume broke out. On-balance volume is now making, for the short term, highs above previous highs along with price, so it's supporting and mirroring this upward movement from price. This is a bullish look from on-balance volume and supports the Elliott Wave count. ADX has come up from a low level just below 15 and risen up from below both DX lines. The black ADX line now has a positive slope. The positive DX line is above the negative. ADX is giving us the strongest bullish signal it can give. It is telling us XRP, the daily time frame, is in a new upward trend. This strongly supports the Elliott Wave count. RSI is overbought, but it can reach deeply overbought, and it can remain there for a significant period of time while price moves a considerable distance. So just because RSI is only just moving into overbought yesterday does not mean that this bullish movement has to end. Absolutely not. This still supports the Elliott Wave count. Money flow is neutral. There's a long way to go before this reaches overbought. And ATR is increasing along with price. Volatility favours bullish momentum. This is a very, very bullish look from XRP. This looks like the early stages of the next bullish run. I expect we're in a fifth wave now to end third waves 1 degree higher. That is an extremely bullish look. I expect we're probably going to see new all-time highs from XRP sooner rather than later. So now price has broken out of this consolidation. For any pullbacks, look for support at 2.7. I'll expect that area is likely to hold. Next resistance, very, very close. 3.25, the all-time high for XRP. This area of resistance may very well initiate a small pullback before price is able to have the bullish momentum to break through that resistance area. So be alert, possibly for a little pullback, and if it happens, look for support at 2.7. That could provide a good opportunity. That's it for me today with your XRP analysis. I hope you're all having a lovely day.